Hello nice people and welcome to the Red Cyberglass. If we don't know each other, my name is Andrea, I'm Italian and I'm here today to show you and explain to you 5 easy techniques and effects that you can apply to animate your titles and text. So something very easy to do, you can combine them all together to create a more animated and complex kind of effects, or you can use them separately. It's something you will decide afterwards. Anyway, I suggest to use this kind of animation in videos like vlogs, tutorials, music videos is very perfect, or also for some short movies or short film that are set in a urban or like technological kind of environment. Definitely, I will not recommend them to be used in wedding films. Okay, so before we start, if you want to consider to subscribe to the channel, guys, I will appreciate. You will find a lot of other tutorials that I've already uploaded that are also coming into the future. So just subscribe, hit the notification bell so to be notified all the time I upload a new video, and then we're good to go. Okay, so without wasting more of your time, let's jump into the tutorial. So the first effect is like a flicker, where the text appear and disappear and change position a little bit, like if the tape is broken, and there is like a disconnection between the position of the title into the screen. What we have to do now is we zoom in our timeline as much as possible. So now this clip should be, trust me, is going to be something like 1 second. The principle is, first few moments the text is readable and visible, then it starts to flicker, and afterwards the last part is again visible for a few moments. So what we do, we count something like 5-6 seconds where the title is really still. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 frames, and then we cut. So press C on your keyboard and then you cut. Now you start cutting little segments of 1 or 2 frame maximum, and you do this for a while. So just like I'm doing now, count 1 and cut. Then you count 2, for instance, and cut. And you do this along the rest of the clip. Now we need to create the points where the text disappeared. So simply delete. So press V to go back to your main tool, the arrow, and then select the first little tiny piece of clip that we cut and press delete on your keyboard. Boom, gone. And then you alternate and do the same with all the others. Okay, now, good. If you click play, so you go back at the beginning of the clip and you press the space bar, you see that it is already flickering, so we already have something that is potentially usable. If we put a piece of audio and I press go, you see, it's already working. We already have something we can use, but we want to do something a little bit more interesting. So what we do is we go on after the first blackout. So we keep the title in the same position, and then after it disappear and reappear, the next time it appears, so let's move it up just to make sure that we know what we are doing and we have clarity, visual clarity on where we put our stuff and what we change. So this, we move the position here on the left, you see is the effect control window. You move the position a little bit of the title on the left and a little bit up. So that you see, compared to the previous, we have it is on a different position. It is transparent in another part of the screen. And then it goes back to the beginning at the very center of the screen, and then it moves. So the other one will be, for this time, for instance, a little bit left and a little bit down. Okay, like this. Then still in the center of the frame. Then we move the other one again, a little bit on the left and a little bit, oops, so now this is the scale, sorry. We're gonna work on the scale now, but I wanna finish first. Okay, this part here. Now again, center, and then the last one is going to be again downwards on the left. So you see, again, okay, it starts to move, but it's very regular, even there is not random enough for my tastes. So what I do here is I get a couple of them, so like this one for instance, and I increase the scale a lot. And I extremely move down and on the left, even if it goes out of the screen, it doesn't matter. And I do the same with the last one over here. So position again, let me get the position on the right and very up. And again, I increase the scale a lot so that when I play it, now I have two parts where the scale is super, super large. And this is the effect. So we have here again another clip with our blank, clean, virgin title. So what we have to do now is to work with an effect that is called wave warp. So to find it, let's go here in the upper tab, let's click on effects. From effects, we type on the search bar wave warp. And once we have it, we drag and drop it directly into the timeline up in our clip. Now, on the screen, it appears this very ugly wave stuff. It's really a wave. It's like a wave is crossing through the title. So what we do is we change this effect and we customize in the way that we want. So to create sort of like, again, if the title is disturbed by an interference or something that is disturbing the transmission. So to do that, what we do is, first of all, we change the direction in 180, so it's horizontal, the direction of the waves. Then the height, let's keep it something like 2, and then the width, again, not a lot, so let's put 6. Even less, 4, okay, I like it more. The waves are so small that it sounds like disturbed. Now, let's change the type of the wave with noise, and this is what we like. Okay, so what we do here now, we create some keyframes. We click on this little clock in these 4 or 5 sets that we just touched. And what we do is that we count again, another time, 4 or 5 frames ahead. And then we start messing around with for instance, the height of the wave and also a little bit the width, okay, like this. And then we count again a few frames ahead, and again we exaggerate even more, like now, okay. Some more, boom. We can even change direction if we want. Like this for a while, but let's keep it down, boom, okay, and then one more time, and so on until you are happy, and until the clip, your title is basically done. So let's go to 50, and then last but not least, final 10, and here 2, and we are almost back to 0, to none. Okay, so this is the final result. I like it. The third effect is another effect that we can directly find here in Premiere Pro. So what you have to do first, before starting, is to duplicate the title twice. To do that, click Alt on your keyboard, press the left button on the clip and drag and drop upwards. So you create a copy, and you do the same another time, so you have 2 copies. Now, the top one is going to be our title, still white, the original one. The down 2 belows, they are the ones that we're gonna apply this tool that is called Arithmetic. To find out this effect, go again in Effects, type Arithmetic, and here you have it. Drag and drop it so that both are, with this effect. So the principle is we are gonna apply some RGB effect in our title. So to create again a little bit of glitch effect and movement also as well. Again, we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So a few frames where our title stay the same, so we shorten a little bit our effect. Now what we do here, you see, let's click here for instance, we have arithmetic, this is the effect, we have operator, red value, green value, blue value. So these are the four channels, the four values where we are going to work to do this effect. So we change operator in n, so it's going to add our effect, and then for instance the red value is going to be the maximum, 255. We're going to do the same down below. We select end, and we're gonna this time move the green at the maximum. So it's now not visible because the three titles are overlapped. They are, you know, overlapped together. So to make them visible and to start to do our glitch effect, what we have to do is to move a little bit in motion the two titles. So if we do like this, you see, oh sorry, it was invisible, the other if you do like this, we started to create a little bit of glitch effect, a visual glitch effect in our title. So to play around with that, again, like all the other time, we set keyframes in all our values and also in both of our clips. And once this is done, we count again 1, 2 frames, we cut, for instance, the clip for a couple of frames, and we keep only one value. And when we go back in our new frame, for instance, we decrease completely the green value, we increase the blue value, and maybe we can add a little bit of movement as well, so we can move it a little bit more off on the left for a couple of frames, and then it disappears. So I suggest you to work on one clip first and then on the other one. So again, for a few it disappears, nothing changed, and then starts again. This time is going to be, I don't know, the red again, and we change in vertical a little bit the position. Woo! Like this. 1, 2 frames, cut, 1 frame, and then it starts one more time, and cut. Okay, let's work on the last, like this, and here again we change the red and we put it green, and we change the position one more time, a little bit off on the top. So now we work on the second clip. The process is basically the same. And here we have it. So let's see what happened. Okay, good. Then of course the last part will be to go back to normality, to the normal. So just cancel these last pieces of the clips, and here you have your title glitching. Of course, let's add our sound design, and this is the final result. Oh, juicy, I love it. Fourth effect. So this one is again quite simple to use. So we need to apply an effect found in the library. So again, we type Gaussian Blur. Gaussian Blur. Here we have it. And it's very simple to use, because what we want to do is to blur a little bit the title, you know, to give a little bit of sense that it's fading away and coming back. So Gaussian Blur. So we set some keyframes. Again, at the very beginning, we can keep like the usual 3, 4 frames, 5 frames of you know, stillness. Then what the keyframe that we care the most is blurriness. So this is the one that regulates how blur, how faded is the title until it disappears with, you know, yeah. So what we do, we set a keyframe where the blurriness is 0. So we move like a few frames ahead, and again we messed a little bit. So for instance, in this case it will be 54, a few frames later it's going to be 0 one more time, and then a few frames later, like a lot, so it's almost gone. A few frames later back to 25, a little bit off again on 67, and then back a few frames later to normal. And this is the final result. I love it. So last effect, so the fifth effect, it is called VR digital glitch. Glitch, here we are, and drag and drop it on the clip as we did already before. And basically what you have here is a very complex effect that allows you to combine RGB color distortion and also, you know, noise distortion. So it's a little bit a mixture of what we have seen before. In my opinion, I enjoy more to use also the other methods than just this one, because I have a bit more control with the other methods than this last one. But if you add a few frames also with these effects, it adds a lot of variety in your animation. So I'm gonna show it to you how it works, and you will see it's quite fun. So to use it, what you do is you go on effect control. As you can see, you have a lot to play with. Point of interest, point of scale, poly aspect, master amplitude, a lot. So, but the values we are gonna play with in this case is distortion. So we open the distortion curtain and we have, you see, a lot of values to play with. So the ones that we care the most are color distortion, distortion complexity, distortion rate. These three. If I'm gonna play as it is, the effect, you see, it is still. So there is no motion, it doesn't happen anything. So we need to play with the keyframes one more time. So we set the keyframes at the beginning, like we just did. And now after a few frames, we play with these three values. So color distortion, for instance, we messed increasing the color distortion. A few frames later, we add some more distortion complexity. And then a few frames later, also the distortion rate is going to change a lot. And then a few frames later goes back to normal. And then again, the complexity change. So again, as we did many times, we messed a little bit with these three values. And voila. And this is the final result. So you see, it is a little bit, a fusion of the things that I've shown you before. Now that the fifth effect is done, let's try to combine all these 5 effects all together in an animation, adding a little bit more of sound design, and let's see what happened. What is the final result? And that's it, guys, for today's tutorial. I really hope that you enjoyed it, that you learned something. If you want to share some of your works, you can find me easily on Instagram. You can even find me on Facebook. And definitely write a comment down below and we can start a conversation straight away. Okay? Don't hesitate, please. I will be pleased. I will be happy. How many times I'm gonna say please? Anyway, okay, so if you like the video, put a like, subscribe if you're not yet subscribed, and I will see you into the next one. Okay? Cheers.